everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see the veteran Joe Flacco and his new team, the Denver Broncos, as they match up with the great Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48, built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos head out for their first drive, and at the controls in his first season in the Mile High City, a former Super Bowl champion in Joe Flacco. And in Baltimore, they drafted Lamar Jackson. Eventually, he would take over for Flacco Week 10 a season ago. So Flacco out. Well, the Broncos said, we still think he has some time left in his career. They bring him in for some stability at quarterback, something that they really haven't had in Denver since the departure of Peyton Manning after their victory in Super Bowl 50. The pass there complete to Sutton. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38.
Well, partner, it's pretty simple. One thing you don't want to see defensively, on the very first snap of the game, some guy running free like we just saw there.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. The 40. The 20. 10. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pick-off.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right? Good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's Flacco. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Returnable here for Davis. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Now it's Rodgers. He'll get this to Jake Kumaro. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Now Rodgers. He gets this to Devontae Adams. He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
Check 52. Inside. Tighten up. X3. 218. Chopper. Hey, check 26.
Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. That is caught at the 7. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
This is caught. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork. Knows that the players are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get two.
Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers add on to their lead. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early, give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. And Denver getting set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the penalty erases their earlier loss. Now it's 2nd and 8. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zadarius Smith has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now it's Flacco. Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Davis now to return it. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10.
Scan 300. Scan 300. Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. Hey, Haywood.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Past the 20. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. The third-year back from BYU, Jamal Williams with a carry. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football. But that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage.
Let's go. Hey, Steve 6. Steve 6.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Back for the 2nd quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it 2nd down and 12. On 2nd and 12, Rodgers over the middle, complete. It's Adams. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
To throw, it's Rodgers. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. 14 yards through the air. Caught the D off guard on 3rd and 1. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
He doesn't need a lot of space for an electric run. He showed that there. Heck, they told us this week they were hoping he would break a big one. He just did.
And what did his offensive, remember we talked with the offensive line, and one of the guys, one of the stalwarts said, I don't even have to make a great block for him. I just breathe bad breath on the guy in front of me, often that opens up enough space for him to go.
Now Crosby for the point after. And it is now 21-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsay. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Preston Smith, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the second quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the first quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap.
I think he tried to lull him to sleep a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you've got me this week. No longer. And you know, with the 4 sacks last week, it's obvious he gets his in flurries.
And the pressure gets to him again. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is taken at the 18. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Number 12 back out there. Aaron and his Packer teammates set to begin their drive. He's thrown for a touchdown pass, and he's run for one so far.
When you're able to watch a guy perform at a high level and do it in multiple ways, arm, legs, he really helps his team in a big way. You got to think that they feel great about where they are in this ball game, and they feel even better about him leading their team.
Well, he's hoping to put them into a better spot after this drive.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Hey, go. Check my 47.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Rodgers got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he's got this down to the 35. 11 yards there, 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage. The drag route can be effective when it's run well.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Let's go, defense. Get out the field, defense.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Check Mike 21.
They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
2nd down and goal. Rodgers got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams with his 2nd touchdown of the game and on the year, and the Packers add 6 to their lead. Extra point try now for Crosby. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. That time, a 9-play drive, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. A reminder, coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night they were in New York. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Flacco. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Rashawn Gary in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll begin up at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And it's the Raiders who have the lead in the second quarter. Derek Carr has a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, let's hop over to New England. Check out the Patriots at home in Foxborough. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. Sam Darnold with 3 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get right to the center of the U.S. map and check in on the Chiefs at home in Kansas City. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown pass. In our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns, and he has run for another. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him? Double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Rodgers, and he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. He was over 100 receiving last week. He's over 100 now this week as he's got a first down as well. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Williams. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him.
Hey, Charlie.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. And he's got it. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Packers are pouring it on.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half, Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. But sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Flacco to throw here on third down. And that's complete to the tight end Hireman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Wait. 55. Night, sweetheart.
First and 10 here for Flacco. And he hits his target, Deshaun Hamilton. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. The last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
That is
by the time we have to
positive.
leave the booth. Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
7 yards there and a first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. The sack there by Bradley Chubb. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on second and long. Rodgers. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller doing what he does best with a sack.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Hey, Delta. Let's go, defense.
On third and long, it's Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A big play there. Rodgers to Adams. 56 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10. Rodgers going to throw. He'll set up the screen. This is Williams. Doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily,
he'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller able to record his 5th sack of the season.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal?
26. Hey, orbit.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers continue to roll.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 11 yards there, first down. Flacco now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's first and 10. Flacco under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Rashawn Gary has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. Zadarius Smith racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Brian Anger now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Devontae Adams in the Packer offense heading back out. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's what really becomes fun because
he's got a man complete. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Rodgers on fire, his 5th touchdown pass of the ball game. And the Packers are pouring it on.
there's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's yelling it out right now.
She's full bore. Yeah,
this thing is flat out finished.
Crosby with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. On first down, Flacco. He'll get this to Phillip Lindsay, complete. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Rashawn Gary in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Flacco looks to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another incompletion. It's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row.
And got his man complete. The second quarter starts off with a bang as they snag over 30 yards. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
Rodgers looking to throw. He'll get this one to the Golden Domer, St. Brown. And he's got this down to the 35. They've moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that?
At the 36-yard line.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Packers, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another home date next week as the Eagles will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.